you about the things that are most important to you. And today I'm going to talk about wearable tech in general. I'm sure you guys all heard about it. It's been quite the buzzword in 2014. And we're seeing a lot of really interesting products come out and come to market. But when you talk about something that's wearable, it needs to look good. And I think technology companies are traditionally really, really good at making things that are super exciting and functional. But, however, they're not great at making things that are stylish. So just because something is wearable doesn't mean that everyone is. And if you look at the space today, I think a lot of these companies are focused more on this unisex approach, where they're taking things that are, they're big, they're bulky, they look like they're designed for men, they make them pink, and they think that women are going to want to buy them. And that's just not the way that it works. Similarly, they're taking these things that are geeky and gadgety, putting them on beautiful models, and expecting that women are going to want to wear them. But this woman is not shopping at the same stores for clothing as this guy, so why would they So Ringley has been looking at the space a little bit differently from the beginning. We think there is a place for a lot of these devices, but we also think that there is a place for devices more like this. They're discreet, they're beautiful, they're stylish, they're simple. The technology is hidden, it's not so apparent. And making products that are both simple and stylish that people want to buy because of how they look just as much as for what they can do. And I'll introduce you to our first product that we're launching in a few weeks, which is the Ringley Ring. So I'm wearing one right now. You guys can come see me afterwards and get a little demo. But the ring is connected to my phone, and it will alert me to different notifications based on how I've set it up. So right here you can see when I get a text message, it vibrates twice and flashes green. It's very discreet. It comes on the side of my ring. If I get a phone call, see, I'm getting one right now. You might be able to see it. If I'm getting a phone call, it vibrates once and flashes blue. And the user can set it up to however they want to be notified. So if you only want to be notified when your significant other is calling, you can set it up that way. If you want to be notified every time you get somebody, messages you on Twitter, you can set it up that way. And the purpose is, so for a lot of guys in the room, you guys have your phones in your pocket, you feel and things are happening all the time, but for a lot of women, we keep our phones in our purses, and we're always missing important calls and texts and messages. So that's kind of what we've been focusing on as our first product. And I'll walk through a little bit of the timeline of how it's been going. So we started, of course, with an idea, which is where most things start. And then you have to find a partner or a team to work with you. Of course, you can be a sole founder, but it's a little bit harder. I learned that at the beginning. And then I think it's important to have a prototype to validate your idea, and also a vision to back it up. Then after that, we went straight to fundraising. And some people go a different route where they do crowdfunding or they try to validate the market that way. But for us, it was a fashion product, so we were a little too early on with our prototypes. We wanted to wait until we were a little bit more developed. So we went straight to the fundraising early on so we can spend a lot of time developing. And of course, the timeline is not so linear. We were building a team, developing the product, working with manufacturers throughout several months at the same time. And now we're close to selling and shipping. But anyway, throughout this whole timeline, I think the most important thing for me was this part, which is building a prototype and then building a vision to support that prototype. It will help you so much in all of the other steps that follow. And so I'll give you a couple of pointers on what we did to sort of solidify the vision and what's been really helpful. So of course you need a working prototype, this is given. It doesn't have to look pretty at this early phase. Ours is pretty hideous. Sometimes I look back at pictures and I'm like, oh my god, I can't believe anyone gave us money from that thing. But but I think the thing that helped us a lot was the vision to support it. So we validated the idea for the technology, but then we went through a lot of steps to create a brand, develop a vision. It looked a little bit like this. We think that the future of wearables is people that are going to be buying electronics the way that today they buy clothing. And so everything we do has been supporting this vision. And no, we don't yet have a retail store in Soho, but we already have started developing our spring consumer lookbook. So I think once you get everything down on paper, you start to work towards these things and see them happen. But we started with a mission statement. It's pretty simple. So we create products our customers will buy because of the way they look, just as much as for what they can do. And every product that we build is going to be based on this. So a lot of people say, well, are you going to be building products for men? And I'm like, yes, they will be stylish and they will do something. I don't know if it's going to have the same exact functionality, but it will have this mission exactly. The next thing we did was we developed some brand traits. And again, our messaging that we come out with, videos, photography, styling, everything has these traits, and it makes decisions so much easier down the line. So for us, it's playful, striking, and effortless. Everything down to the jewelry, to the models we choose, to the music we pick, it all has to fit in this brand definition. The next thing we did, which was super, super important early on, was defining who our customer was. And Pinterest was really, really great for this. We made a bunch of mood boards. We found our Ringly girl, and we followed her throughout her day. What does her coffee shop look like? Where does she go on vacation? What style does she have in the summer versus the fall? And we really focused on creating products that match this lifestyle. The next and probably the most valuable to us at the beginning was creating visuals and developing the customer experience to support your product vision. So, luckily for me, I'm a designer, but there's tons of tools out there to help you kind of figure out that customer experience. And it's so valuable when you walk someone through the actual experience for them to understand how your product works and the impact. So we use things like Envision app to do a click-through app mock-up of our mobile applications to sort of simulate what it would feel like when we actually built it. Similarly, the website, we just did website mock-ups, and it was extremely valuable to have these assets. And then another thing that just kept coming up over and over, and I think it's really important to answer these questions early on because you will get them again over and over as you start talking to potential partners and investors and manufacturers. Where did the idea come from? What is your background? Who's on your team? These are things that are just super important to define up front so that everyone on your team is on board and can answer them really, really quickly. Especially things like, what is your BOM? What is your bill of materials? And then figuring out what's your retail price. So if your BOM is $50, your wholesale cost is $100. You're going to retail, that's a 2.2 markup, so you'll just be able to spit out these numbers really quickly. And again, what does the vision help you with? It helps you so much with all of these things. So the number one thing was raising capital. It was really helpful to have that vision and be able to tell that story. Product development, again, every product decision based on, the other day, somebody suggested putting plastic in our rings to help with the RF. No plastic. So again, all these things really, really help with product development and making good decisions there. Hiring is another thing. We talked to a guy on the phone who was a little lukewarm, came into our office, saw our vision, saw our brand, saw everything. He signed the paperwork the next week. So it's really, again, important to be able to express yourself and show what you're going for in the future. And marketing, that's another huge thing. When you talk to press, when you talk to even just developing your copy and your website, your voice, again, vision is super, super important. And then partnerships as well. So I hope you guys start to think more about your branding and more about this stuff. Of course, executing this vision is also super, super important, but I will say that it was extremely helpful for us to go through this entire process early on so that everything else can follow smoothly. And again, our vision of the future is to change the fashion lover's perspective of what technology is. Thank you. So again, we're launching soon. And happy to take any questions.
Thank you very much. Just tell us more about how it works. So that was great to focus on the brain and all the things,
Yeah.
but the actual product.
The actual ring. So we have it's Bluetooth low energy, connects to your phone, and there's a motor, battery, LEDs, and you can pretty much set it up to however you want to be notified, and it'll vibrate and flash a little color on the side.
Okay. And where do you have it manufactured?
We're working with a company called PCH right now, so we're doing it overseas. My co-founder's over in Shenzhen as we speak, getting everything in order.
Any sort of interesting lessons learned there about what worked?
Yeah, I mean, you just have to be on their case. We have calls every Monday at 9 p.m. for about 2 hours, just going over the entire project schedule. I mean, we were really lucky enough to be able to work with PCH, who've been great partners for ours. Again, I gave a talk at the last Harvard meetup about how we won the program that we were in back in October. So we went out to San Francisco for 4 months to work on the prototypes and whatnot, and we were able to partner with this great manufacturing company. So that's been extremely helpful.
So, battery. What kind of battery do you have in the device?
We have a very small battery.
Yeah, so it'd be interesting. But
yeah.
How do you get over situations where, so you need to send small amounts of data from the ring, right? How do you sleep? How do you keep it from using too much battery power?
Yes, we have an accelerometer in here also. We're doing a lot with detecting whether or not it's moving, putting it into a low power state.
Cool. And so you have a very small microprocessor. It's all chip based, everything.
Yep, just one. We're using the Nordic chip, Bluetooth Low Energy 4.0.
And it's all on the top.
Yep.
Cool. Awesome.
It's Mike Kincannon with Barnes & Noble. What was the final bill of materials and sales price?
We're not disclosing bill of materials, but our sales price is going to be 150 to 200 based on the design.
So how do you get through the RF coming through the metal? How did you solve the RF?
Yeah, I mean, the RF is a huge challenge. Again, we're in a metal ring. But we actually patented a way of putting the antenna right underneath the stone so that the signal can go out.
Cool, like Apple does, like the behind the Apple on the screen. Cool. Very nice.
Hey, through competition analysis, do you suppose that someone with a Pebble or something like that would appreciate this as part of the ecosystem, or are you only targeting people who don't have any of this yet and would only use the ring, or do you want this to work with other things?
Yeah, it's interesting because we actually just, Eric from Pebble was just in our office the other day and we were chatting about all this stuff. And I sometimes explain it as a pared down Pebble. But I think the problem for a lot of women is they don't want to wear something that's big and bulky and plastic. So they want something that's more discreet. And I think it's a different market that's not being served right now, and so I think there's a space for both.
Great. There are no more questions. So let's go over there. All right. Run.
After the fashion element, I can see how great this would be in all these other applications like medical and baby boomers need to be reminded, and that demographic, of course, is only growing. Are you looking to do that long-term, short-term?
Yeah, I mean, again, for us, we're already thinking about the next products and what we want to build. I'm getting a text. But yeah, it's all about, for us, being discreet and being simple and subtle, and having people be proud of what they're wearing. So, but yeah, we are researching different sensors and working on future products.
One last one. It's not working out. Thank you.
Hi, Jerry. Have you thought about going the other direction where you could use the device to either, send some pre-programmed message, a lead message or whatever?
Yeah, we have an accelerometer in the ring itself, and it detects taps, and so we can send information back.
Wonderful. All right. that was Christina Mercando. Thank you very
Thank you.
much. And so